Hello and welcome to Developers Heaven. Today I'm going to teach you FastAPI in this video. So what is FastAPI? So basically FastAPI is a high performance modern Python web framework for building web APIs. It is known for its speed and efficiency using asynchronous programming, and it does automatic serialization and deserialization for us. So when the data is passing from the client to the server or server to client, some serialization needs to happen through the wire, and it does that automatically for us. And it also provides automatic documentation using OpenAI for Swagger. When we look at the documentation, it does the automatic documentation for us. I will show you once we get there. And it also has an asynchronous support and dependency injection. These two as well, we will get to see that in action when we get to that point. Now let's get started with fast API. So in order to develop web APIs using fast API, there are certain things you need, certain packages. Obviously the very first one is the fast API. So you can go to your command prompt. If you don't have fast API installed already, you can do it by using pip install fast API, and then you will need a server to run this one. So once you have developed your web APIs, you need somewhere to host that and run it on the server. For that one, we use what's called a ubicon. So you can use pip install ubicon, and then we will also need Pydantic. So Pydantic simplifies the data validation and settings for us. This is another Python package. You can install that using pip install Pydantic. So you can do these things individually, or if you want to do all in one go, what you can do is pip install fast API and all. What it does is it will install all the required packages to run fast API. Like it will install UVCon for you to for running the server. It will install Pydantic for data validation. It will install Jinja 2 for templating, and it will also install UJSON for faster JSON handling, and obviously it will install fast API for you. If you don't want all these packages but you want only the basic ones, you can use the command pip install fast API standard. Fast API standard. So these are the things you need, and you can use any IDE of your choice. You can use Visual Studio Code, you can use Visual Studio, you can use PyCharm. In my case, I'm using PyCharm. So without wasting any more time, let's get into this coding part. By the end of this video, you will be able to write your own APIs, and you will feel comfortable in working with fast API using Python. So what I've done here is in Python, I've created a project and I have just one file, which is main.py for now. Let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is we want to import fast API. So once the fast API package is imported, we want to import from fast API import fast API. That is how you import fast API. And the next thing is we want to declare a variable app is equal to fast API. That's it really. So once this is done, what we want to do here is navigate to your folder in the command prompt and then use this command uecon main is my Python file name and app is my variable, and we will use another hook called hyphen hyphen reload. So what this does is I'm saying run the app in my main Python file on the ubicon server, and this hyphen hyphen reload is telling me whenever you sense some changes in this main.py file, reload them automatically instead of me killing the server and restarting the server. Please do that for me. That's what it does. So once this is done, it said UVCon is running on this file here. So let's copy this URL on this URL, copy the URL, paste it in the browser, run it, and that's what we are seeing here. The different detail not found. Okay, if you use slash docs in the end, it will take you to the Swagger documentation. So let's use Swagger documentation. So the fast API is running, but there are no operations yet, which we already know because we don't have any operations. We just got the server ready. Now let's create a very simple operation here. The way you create operations here is define a function. Let's say hello and return hello world. Let's save this one and refresh this. We still don't have any operations. That is because we defined the function, but we have not specified any route to this. Where should this one appear? So for that one, we have to use specify the route. So app dot get. So we have different methods like get, post, put, delete. We'll see all of them one by one, but for now I'm using get, and this will be my base route, which means the entry point of this one. So if I refresh this, you see we have the default route. We have say hello. You can try it out. You can click on try and execute because there are no parameters. Once we execute, we will see the response here, hello world. Let's do hello world again. I've just updated this one and I save the file. UICon will refresh this one, but we have to refresh the browser anyway. We don't have to kill and restart the server, but we have to refresh the browser. So let's try it out again. Execute this one, hello world again. This is updated, but we don't want just this hello world again. We want to write a simple API. And one more thing is you can also specify the parameters here. Let's say I have a parameter called ID. If I do this and refresh the browser, come here, this time around it is asking me for the parameter because I've specified there is a parameter here. It is asking me for the parameter. If I try to execute, it doesn't let me execute because this ID is required. If I execute, then we see hello world again. Okay, so what I'm doing here is courses, right? I have a Python course, JavaScript course, and many other courses. So I want to read all the courses. I want to get a course by its ID. I want to insert a new course. I want to update an existing course, and I want to delete the course as well. So let's get started with that. So this is not required now. This is just a sample function. I will remove this. So the first thing I want to do is I want a model for course. So I know what I'm passing through that. So for that one, what we have to import Pydantic. So this is where the Pydantic will come into play. So from Pydantic, import base model. Okay, I got the Pydantic base model here. And then let's create our course model. So class course, I will inherit this class from the base model. Okay, once I have this one, what do I need in this? I need the ID, which is int, and I need title, the course title, that will be a string, and I need description, that will be string as well. So I have the model here. Now I can do courses is equal to I will have an array of courses. So how we can do is within this array we can specify the first one course is we can do ID is equal to 1, title is equal to let's say Python, and description is equal to let's say Python course. So we can keep adding more and more items here. So in the interest of saving time, I'm going to copy some of the courses from my notepad and paste them here. So these are the courses I've got now. These are the courses I've got now. Let's get started with our very first API endpoint, which is getting all the courses. So users want to see all the courses, so I need to provide an endpoint for that. So it will be app.get slash. I'm not doing anything, just the slash. Okay, now I will do definition function get all courses. Because I'm getting all the courses, there are no parameters required here. And then I will straight away return the courses as it is, the courses I have. It is return courses, right? Save the file. It would have should have refreshed this one here, right? We got get all courses. And then if I try it out and click on execute, hooray, I got all the courses here. So the Python basics, advanced JavaScript, and React. So I got all the courses here. Let us just explore some of the things here. So this is a get method, that is the get all courses, and that is the path slash. There are no parameters, which is good, and it is showing me what responses it does. The interesting thing here is on 200 successful response, it is giving me a string. It is saying that the return type is a string, but in our case, this is not a string, it is a list of course. So how do we convey that message to this one? So we can do that by specifying a parameter here, which is response model. So I'm saying my response model is list of course. Okay, that should work now. So save the file, refresh the server, and then you see here, see the difference here, it's not string anymore, it is saying it is a list of string. So if I remove this list here, for example, okay, if I remove the list here and save the file, come back to this browser, see it is saying it is just returning an object. But when I try this out, it returned an internal server error because the return types did not match. Okay, I will do list, of course I will put it back what it was before, and then try it out, execute. Now I got all the courses, which is an array, and the response is also showing me an type of array, and we will see the schema here in the end. So that's the schema. So at the introduction of this course, I told you that FastAPI will write some automatic documentation for us using OpenAI. So if we click on this one, it will take us to the documentation. So this is the documentation it has prepared here for us. So it said the response is 200 successful response, and it knows the item. So what schema is being returned? It is applications plus JSON, and all this stuff is being has been created by OpenAI. So it said get all courses. For someone who has just come to consume this API, if there are like 100 endpoints here and they don't really know what each endpoint is doing, so somehow we have to convey them the message what each endpoint is doing. So for that one, we can again go back to this parameter list here and specify summary. Okay, for example, summary. What is this doing? It is returning all the courses. So I will do get all the available courses. Let me bring this to the new line so you don't have confusion seeing this. So get all available courses. Again, save this, refresh. You see it this time around. It said the summary is get all available courses. So we can't. This is summary, so we have just summarized what it does. But you can give an elaborated description in the description field. So you can write a story here if you are interested. Get all the available courses from the database, and I'm just trying to extend this one. No parameters are required. Okay, so no parameters are required is what I said. Now if I refresh this, you will see the description part here. So this summary and description are very useful to the consumer. When they look at this endpoint, they will get to know what each endpoint is doing, what sort of prerequisites they need, and all that stuff. And there is one more thing called name. We should give a unique name for every endpoint. So it's not we should, if we don't give it, uh, the Swagger OpenAI will take these ones as that one, but it is always better we give our own name, and these should be unique across the API. Okay, get all courses like now, like how I said, even if I do get all courses, we won't see that anywhere in the Swagger, but we will see that in the documentation part here. So in the documentation, if I see this one, get all courses underscore underscore get. Right. So we wrote our first endpoint to get all the courses. Let's try it out again. We got all the courses. Now what I want is I want another endpoint which the consumer can get the course, a single course, by giving it an ID. So we need another endpoint here. It will be app.get. This is still a get method, and this time around I want course ID to be passed in. So I will tell you what this course ID is in a second. Let me just get over this function. So get underscore course underscore by underscore ID, and then we'll do course underscore ID. The type will be integer, and now I got the course ID. I have to go through this list, find that course ID, and return that relevant course. If it is a dictionary, it would have been pretty easy. Like I just have to do courses of course ID. But in this case, this is not a dictionary, it is a list. So I have to iterate through that one. So for iteration, we'll do for course in courses if course dot id is equal to course id. What we want to do, we just want to return the course. Why am I typing this return wrong every time? Okay, I just want to return the course. Okay, coming back to this one, what this course id is. This course id is called a path parameter. So what we mean by path parameter is, for example, we have this URL http colon slash slash www dot some site dot com slash 3. So here this 3 is a path parameter because it is part of the path itself. But if we have something like this one, which you must have already seen if you are familiar with this site, for example, colon id is equal to 3. In this case, this is a query parameter because this is coming as part of the query string. So in this case, this is the path parameter, this is the query parameter. We'll get to use the query parameter in going forward as well, but just remember this. I will comment this out for your reference. I will check in this file to GitHub so you can have a look at it. Okay, now that our second endpoint is ready, what I will do is I will save this file as usual, refresh. We are done with this one. I will close this, and there is another endpoint here. Try it out. I will enter course ID 1. We did return Python basics because in our case, course ID 1 is Python basics. If I entered 4, then it would give me React because 4 is the React one, the React course. So this is also working. Again, on successful response, this is still showing a string. So you know the drill by now. What we should do to fix this one, what we have to do is we have to add a response model. So response model, this time this is not list, it is just returning a single course, right? Single course. Save it, refresh, and when we come here, this time we will see, this time we will see a successful response. Okay, so far so good. What if the course ID does not exist? Let's go here and I will do 5 because the course 5 does not exist in our list. If I do course 5, what happens? It is saying internal server error, but it is not saying what the error is. So the consumer doesn't know what the error is. They just think that something has gone wrong on the server. They are not going to check if their ID is correct unless we tell them the ID is wrong. They don't want, they will not check that one. So the way we can do that one is we can raise an exception here. Okay, so in order to raise a HTTP exception, we need to import that from the FastAPI itself. So there is HTTP exception provided from the FastAPI itself, and come along here. So if there is a course found, it is returning the course. But what if nothing is found? After the for loop, I want to raise HTTP exception. For HTTP exception, we can provide the status code. So the status code will be 404 is ideal for not found responses. Save this one, refresh, and try it out. If I give 5 now, yes, we got a 404 exception. Detail is not found. Can we actually customize that message to let the user like, see, the course ID you provided is not correct? A meaningful message. Yes, we can do that. So for that one, we have to override the detail here. By default for 404, the detail is not found, but we can override our detail here. So we can do course not found and try it out. Do this 5, and now that we are seeing course not found. Would it be better if we said what course is not found? Then I will use a string here, course not found, with ID, the course ID which we have received there, and refresh, try it out. 5, execute. This time it is saying course not found with ID 5, which is good, which is what we are expecting. But if I do 4, then it will return React. Perfect. So we got what we wanted now. So I'm not going to write this name, summary, and description again for this one. I will fix that in the final version when I check into the GitHub. But in the interest of keeping the video short as possible, I'm not going to do that one now. So now that we have created a course ID, now that we have created 2 endpoints to get all the courses and to return a specific course by ID, let's try and create another endpoint, maybe search course by title, or we will not do any more get methods. Let's quickly jump onto the create one. How do we create a course? So for creating a course, we have to use a post method because the data will be posted to the server, right? So I use a create, that will be my endpoint, and function create course. What am I expecting here? What do we need to create a course? For creating a course, we will need a course object. Course object. So that is what I'm expecting from that. And just for this instance, I will return course created. We'll work on this one in a bit. Let's just see how this one is here. So also these methods are actually color coded. So for get methods it's blue, for create, for post one it is a bit different. And if you see, if I click on try it out, the Swagger automatically knows what it is expecting. So it is expecting an ID, title, and description, because that is the part of this course object which you have created here. So we will get all of that courses. One way here is we can straight away take this object and append this to this one, as long as the IDs are not like duplicated. So if they send another one with ID 4, then that will be duplicated. So let's not worry about that one. I'm not doing all those stuff in this course, but you will find them in the final version in GitHub. But again, to keep the video short, what I'm going to do is I will do courses dot append the course which we are getting, and then we can return the same course which we have just created. Okay, that's it. Save the file, and you know the drill by now. Refresh, create course, try it out. Because we have 4 already, I'm doing another one which is 5. Title can be React Native, and I will do React Native course. And if I execute, what happens? So it returned the ID which I just returned, the object which we have just created, because we are returning course here as it is. But did that actually work? Can we find it in our get all courses? Yes, it did. It did work. So that's how we create a create endpoint. And the next one which you want to do is update. Let's do update endpoint as well. So for update, we will use the put method. Okay. So do we need any parameters to update at all? So my endpoint will be update. If I'm getting the exact same object, I don't really need any parameters for now. So function update course. What do I need? I need again the course object. So what we want to do here is, because this is a list, this is an array, I have to loop through this one, find the perfect, find the matching course here, and then update the values accordingly. Let's do it. Let's write another loop similar to this one. So for course, in courses, course ID is equal to course.id, this course ID. So if this course ID is equal to this course.id, then what do I want to update? So I want to do, so for this one, what I will do is, to avoid confusion in naming, I will do current course. So current course. So current course is this one. So once we have the current course, we want to update the current course itself. So current course dot title is equal to course dot title. That is what we got from the client. Dot title, and similarly the descriptions as well. Oops, description, and here as well we want description. Let's see if this works. So do we have an update endpoint here? We do have an update endpoint here. So what I'm going to do is I will go to get all available courses, take a course. Okay, let me take this course here and come to this update course, try it out. I will send the exact same object with maybe Python advanced 2. Okay, when I execute this, it returned null. So I'm not worried about this one because I'm not returning anything here. That's why it returned null. But has the course been updated? Let's get all the courses and we see, yes, this is updated. Python advanced 2 is updated. So if you have observed, we don't have the course number 5 React Native here, because that is because all our data is in memory. We are not saving it to database or anything. It's just in memory. So when we refresh or restart the server, it will come back to what it is before. That's why we are not seeing that React Native here. We have restarted the server a few times, but in the next video we will see how we can do that persistent data into the database. So this update is also worked, which is good. And similar to this one here, if I do an IDS 6 for update course, we don't have an IDS 6, but I'm still trying to update IDS 6. What happens here? This is again returning null. But did anything update? No, there is no ID 6, but it won't be updated. So in that case, what we want to do here is, we want to come to for loop. If this is not found, so here I will return current course, and similar to that one above here, I will raise the exact same exception 404. The course is not found. So if the course dot id, okay, so if a course is found, it is updated and returned that course. But if it is not found, then it will come here and it will raise the exception. Let's check this one once. So in the update course, try it out. I will use ID 6. 6 does not exist. I don't have to change this one because we are trying out the exception. Yes, it did say course not found with ID 6. That is what we want. And the last one we are going to do here is the delete endpoint. So for that one, we need app.delete will be slash delete, and then the function delete underscore course. What do we need here? So this is where we can use the query parameter, right? Course underscore id colon int. I will show you the difference between the query parameter and the path parameter in action in a while. Let's just complete this one. So what we want to do here is similar to this one, the for loop. So going through every single course, and then this will be course underscore id. So if it is course underscore id, we want to get rid of that one, right? So I want to remove that from the courses dot remove, courses dot remove the current course. And then I don't want to return the current course. I just want to return a record deleted or something. So I will say course deleted. And similarly, we can raise the exception if the course is not found here. So maybe I am a bit rushing towards the end of this one to complete this course in short time. So that's why it's happening. Okay. Let's see if the delete works. So we are not into, we are into delete course. Try it out. I will give the course ID 1. So this said course ID deleted. So like I said, this is actually the query parameter. So when we use a query parameter, it will use question mark course ID is equal to 1. If it is a path parameter, so this is a path parameter here, then it will be just embedded within that URL without those question marks. Okay, now I've deleted a course. Let's see if the course is actually deleted. Yes, it is deleted. I deleted the course 1, and that Python basics is gone. That's how the APIs can be written. And maybe one thing I want to show here is for course in courses which have done it like this, there is an easy way to do that. So it doesn't matter in terms of the memory or the speed, but just the way the code looks. So what I can do is, so we are in course ID. I can filter here. So Python provides function called filter. So in the filter, I can do a lambda function, lambda course colon. So I want to check the course dot id is equal to the course underscore id, which I got from the URL. And in order to filter, it will accept all the courses. So I need to provide all the courses as the second parameter. So what is it complaining here? Okay, it is saying the name has this one. I'll just comment these 3 lines here, so it should be okay. Course ID is equal to course underscore ID. So it has filtered that one. But what it does is it will return an enumerator. So you can simply take the next item from the enumerator. Okay. If I just return this here, I'll comment this one. We'll come back to this later. And refresh. We have done course by ID. Go to course by ID and do 1 and execute. The course is returned. So it worked exactly the same as this one. This one is a bit traditional way of writing. This is writing the whole stuff in just single line. So you can adapt to whatever the way you like. They both return the same thing. So in order to do this one, what I can do is take this into a variable like found course. Found course is equal to this one, and in this next iteration it will accept 2 arguments. So it is trying to get the next item in this iterator, but if there is no item in this iterator, then the default value will be null. So what we can do here, simples, come here, if found course, then return found course, otherwise raise this exception. Let's try this one last time. So I will do 1, then it returned Python basics. Now I will do 7, then it did return course not found exception. So this is working. That's how we can write web APIs using FastAPI. Like I said before, in this video I've just done the courses in memory, but in my next video I'm going to create connect SQLite to this one, so we can actually save these rows in the database and retrieve them. I will see you in that video. Until then, have a good day. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.